Bell Direct in Sydney with more details. Jeremy, it wasn't just another positive day. I mean, you could almost call it a stellar day, an 11-month high.
Good afternoon, Richard. Yeah, it was a very good day for the local market today. Obviously, we had a pretty good lead from the European markets overnight with the US closed for the Labor Day holiday. We opened up higher and we pretty much went from strength to strength throughout the session. Ended up 66 points on the day, around about 1.5%. We did have some pretty positive economic news with the NAB Business Confidence Index coming out at its highest level since October 2003. So I guess pretty good signs there that local demand is holding up quite well. And I guess the signs are good for the future with regards to capital expenditure and also employment decisions. We had gold stocks performing very well today with the spot gold price cracking the $1,000 US an ounce mark. I guess September historically is a pretty good month for the gold price, with equity markets around the world generally performing poorer and also with a lot of physical demand out of China and India with weddings and holidays over there. We had Newcrest, that was up 3.7%, and Lihir Gold, that finished the day 3% higher, and that was even in light of an analyst downgrade, with RBS downgrading the stock from a buy to hold, saying that they expected the company to have taken on a bit more risk with its growth plans into Africa. Major miners, they continued their good start with the week, with BHP and Rio both up 2.2%. All the banks had a pretty good day today. NAB was the standout there. It was up 3.8%. ANZ was up 2.5%. CBA and Westpac, they were up around about 2%. AGL Energy, that announced they had quite a contract to supply 100% renewable energy to Adelaide's desalination plant for the next 20 years. It was up around about 1% at one point, but gave up a lot of those gains, finishing the day 0.2% higher. Downer EDI, that also announced that that had got $500 million worth of contracts for its mining division. Again, that was up around about 1% at one point in the day. Gave up all those gains, ended up trading 0.4% lower. We also had Atlas Iron making a friendly takeover bid for Warwick Resources. Atlas ended up the day 6% better off, and Warwick Resources ended up 22% higher. So far this week, two solid days of gains, with the US futures looking at a gain of around about 55 points at the moment. Should be a solid start for tomorrow's session.
Okay, another day today of activity between China and Australia's junior resource plays in WA.
Yeah, well, I guess firstly we had China Railways acquiring stakes in two companies today. Firstly, it acquired a stake of 12%, worth around $12 million in the WA junior iron ore company Ferros, which is going to be using those funds to develop its infrastructure. And China Rail will be attaining iron ore supplies, although the agreement there hasn't been finalised to that extent. Ferros ended the day 12% higher. China Rail is also acquiring an 11.3% stake worth around $27 million in United Minerals, who will also use those funds to develop its infrastructure, and China Rail will obtain a 10-year agreement to receive 3 million tonnes of iron ore per annum. United Minerals was up around about 7% on the day. We also had China-owned Uranium Resources looking to acquire 70% of WA-based uranium company Energy Metals, and if that does go through, Energy Metals will be looking to raise around about $12 million through a 1-for-9 rights issue, which will be using to fund further development of its Big Rilly project. Its share price was up around about 12% today. Jindalee Resources, which owns 40% of Energy Metals and who has come out to say that it will approve that takeover, was up around about 43% on the day. It was an interesting day for Galaxy Resources today. Yesterday it was up around about 30%. At one point today it was up 33%, then got issued with please explain from the ASX. It didn't have anything to add in addition to its 4th of September announcement that it had acquired some financing with a Chinese investor, so it gave up a lot of those gains, ended up finishing 9.2% in front. But with obviously China looking to secure supplies of cheap iron ore, and a lot of these junior miners looking to acquire capital to either fund their infrastructure development or development of their projects, looks like it's a fairly timely marriage at the moment.
Jeremy, appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.